Hello, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, let's drink a bourbon. All right, Ben. It's time for an uncorking. Let's pop the top on a barrel, not a barrel pick, a bottle that we've been searching for a long time.
Barrel finish.
Barrel finish, that's where I was going with that.
This one's actually open.
No, it's not open.
Just pretend this is a fresh bottle pop.
Through the magic of the internet, this is actually an uncorking. There's a story. It has to do with microphones that didn't pick up, and so we did an entire review that was Pulitzer Prize winning.
Yeah.
And you'll
Is
just
Pulitzer Prize the right award for a...
It's got to be. News.
I suppose.
I was so where are you going with this Golden Globe?
It's kind of like... So, yeah, this one, there's another review of ours, which I don't know if it's coming out before or after this, or when it is. Yeah. But same story. We did a couple one night. This was one of them. Mm-hmm. We actually saved two bourbons we were really excited about that neither one of us had. You know, did a fresh cork pop to try to go in with a blind review, having never had it before, and our mics failed. So here we are.
Miserable disappointment.
Yeah, so here we are.
So we're recreating.
Yeah.
Oh, this still has it. So this is Elijah Craig.
Toasted Barrel.
This is one we both wanted to find, and we've just not seen it at all in the past couple of years.
Yeah, it's so it's a limited release, and I don't know if they're starting to do this every year, and that's why I was able to find one recently. But last year, this came out and just didn't really hit the shelves in Minnesota. I mean, I think it did, but it's
gone.
It was gone right away.
Yep.
And I'm a big fan of Elijah Craig, Heaven Hill in general. And so I was looking for this one pretty much for the last year, just, not like aggressively hunting it, but it was always one of those ones that I kind of scanned for as I was looking for other stuff. And then a few weeks ago, went into the local liquor store, and there it was, sitting on the shelf. So I think there it was about $65. That's a municipal store, so that runs a little bit more expensive than the average store, so maybe $55, $60 on average.
Yep.
So this is 94 proof, just like the regular Elijah Craig. Small batch bourbon finished in toasted new oak barrels. So toasted as opposed to charred. So I would imagine, I don't know exactly, how they define that, but I would imagine it's heat exposed, but not maybe flame exposed.
We were talking about infrared heat.
Maybe something like that. Yeah. So,
but we think that this is regular Elijah Craig in a charred oak barrel.
It is. It says our small batch bourbon finished in.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then at some point in its life, it's moved to these special barrels.
Yep.
I have a hard time. I get alcohol spice. Like, it's hard to breathe, but I don't get hardly anything.
I'm getting something that I didn't get last time, and I don't know.
It's almost like all I get is alcohol, spice, and heat.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I don't like, no.
There's something different about this. It doesn't taste like a standard double oaked bourbon.
Yeah, nothing like that.
Like a Woodford double oak or a Old Forester 1910.
Right.
Those are double oak where they're put into another new charred oak barrel, and that definitely imparts a noticeable flavor.
Yep.
I'm not getting that on this. It almost has almost a wine barrel finish. Similarities.
Still not getting a lot on the nose. I'm going to dig into it.
All right.
I get a very, very metallic type vanilla And the oak.
Yeah, I don't really know how to describe this. Now, full disclosure, I've seen a couple, I had watched reviews on other channels of this when it was first coming out, when I was looking for it, long before we had even talked about having our own channel. And there's a specific note that was kind of universal amongst a lot of different people that reviewed this. In that, do you want me to say it? Or do you want to explore it a little bit more before I ruin it with power of suggestion?
I don't remember what you're going to make reference to. So go ahead.
So a lot of people said like s'mores, like marshmallow, chocolate. For a second there, I was kind of getting that on the nose, but to be honest, I don't really get that. When I said that it kind of has a wine barrel finish note to it, it's not that it tastes like it doesn't taste like wine. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting a wine note, but there's a different kind of sweetness that comes along with a wine barrel finish. Mm-hmm. And that kind of is coming through. But to be perfectly honest, as long as I hunted for this and as much as I love Elijah Craig, I think I like the small batch better. Like just the regular $30 available everywhere.
What I feel is, because we've had the regular Elijah Craig a lot, mm-hmm. This feels like it's a filtered version of that, and it's lost certain qualities that are in the regular Elijah Craig.
But it's also gained some other notes that I'm just not really sure I like in Elijah Craig.
Yeah, I don't see there's a lot of range. Like it's got a couple of flavors, like it's got a really nice caramel note and some cinnamon, but I'm just not getting it's not got a really nice, entry taste and then a nice long finish. It's just a very narrow set of flavors, and they're not bad flavors, but it's almost like it's been cut down.
I can maybe see a little bit of the marshmallow, but on the nose, there's something about this on the nose that I find off-putting. It almost has sometimes in younger age bourbons, you can get that grassy note. It's not necessarily grassy, but there's something just off-profile about it.
Yeah. What's interesting is we both like double oaked bourbons, typically. And in some ways, this is a double oaked, but it sure doesn't drink like it.
But it's a toasted oak, so
So what does that mean?
I think on the palate, I'm warming up to it a little bit. Mm-hmm. The nose, I don't particularly care for.
I'm not getting a lot on the nose. I think it's really, really light.
I honestly, I was disappointed in this. Mm-hmm. Just because, like I said, I'm a big fan of Elijah Craig, but this is so, like I said, off profile, and it's gonna be because it's an experimental thing. It's a different, you're gonna throw it in a different barrel. It's gonna taste different. But yeah, there's just, I don't know. I mean, if I'm just kicking back on an average night and I can either pour this or regular Elijah Craig small batch, I think I'm going with the small batch.
Sure.
To be honest. Like I said, I'm warming up to it on the palate because I'm getting a little bit more complexity on it the further I get into it.
A little bit. But the reality is at $65, there's a couple other bourbons that are, you're gonna choose before you choose this.
Yeah. I can, and maybe this is just power of suggestion, which we talk about a lot. I can kind of get those s'mores sort of notes coming through a little bit.
No doubt.
There's a sweetness, but it's almost blocked by something that is kind of preventing them from coming through. You know what I mean? Yeah. You ever have one of those bourbons where the flavors are kind of fighting with each other?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm getting here. It's like there's something, and it's not necessarily that any of them are unpleasant. It just doesn't, I don't know. It's just different. I'm getting a little more spice on it the further I get into it.
Agreed.
Which I like. Yep. Is kind of making it a little bit better. And it's not that I would say this is a bad bourbon, but I think this is one of those examples of one that you kind of put up on a pedestal because you're so sure you're going to love it.
Yep. And
you hunt for it for a year, and you finally get it, and you pay a fairly premium price for it, and it just doesn't hit, And that happens sometimes, and that can happen with any bourbon. It just depends on your flavor profile. I mean, you might be looking for, maybe you're looking for George T. Stagg, and for some odd reason, when you taste it, you don't like it. I don't know why that would possibly happen, but everybody's different, and you're gonna have those. This, I wouldn't call this a unicorn bottle, but you're gonna have those unicorn bottles that you chase down, or those rarer or harder to find ones, and sometimes they're just not going to hit.
Just an arrogant horse.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So I wouldn't say this is bad, but I would say I was disappointed in it a little bit. And maybe some of that is just I put it
Expectation?
on too high expectations. It's like when you go into a movie expecting it to be great.
You don't ever meet your heroes.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not saying that I would not recommend getting this for your collection if you don't mind spending the money.
Especially if you really do like the other Elijah Craig offerings.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, if you really do like the other ones, this one doesn't taste like them.
Which is okay. I mean, if we picked like Knob Creek, I mean, they have a range, and sometimes there's something that really is different than their normal one, and it's still okay.
But if you really like the Elijah Craig's, this is a good one to have on the shelf because it is a different expression that goes in a completely different direction, and that's also fun to have in your collection. So yeah, I mean, pick it up if you don't mind spending the money on it. But it is different, so that's how I'll say that.
You've been warned.
You've been warned. All right, well, this has been Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. I am Ben.
I'm Greg. And remember, everything happens for a reason. Sometimes the reason is you're stupid and you make bad decisions. Cheers.